What's up, YouTube? Marvin4 here with another Great American Survival, and in this week's episode we're going to be installing a cargo hatch on the rear of my Pelican Catch 120. Stick with us, I'll tell you all about it.
This video is intended for all ages.
So if you're like me and you own a Pelican Catch 120, or there's lots of kayaks that are like this that have big cargo areas in their rear, like this one. They've got one down here, and it's got a mark where it's already been marked like for a 6-inch cargo hatch. But the rear back here is a huge area with a mark and a huge area where you could easily install a cargo hatch. So what I'm installing today is I'm going to install an 8-inch cargo hatch that I bought off Amazon. Well, I'm going to show you what we need, and then we're going to get started. So like I said, today I'm going to be installing, this is an 8-inch hatch cover that I found on Amazon. It came with its own hardware, and it also came with a nylon sack, and it also came with a really nice foam gasket. That helps a lot, keeps you from getting any excess water, and helps you have a better seal. With mine, I'm going to be using a 1/4-inch drill bit to punch the hole to start the hole, and then I'm going to use a pneumatic skill saw to cut the hole for the hatch, and then I will use just a Phillips screwdriver to run these in, because I don't have to put a pilot hole for these, but I could. You can easily go with like a 1/16 and punch a hole just to give it a little easier start, and you can do that easily. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to take the hatch, and the easiest way to do this is to take the seal, and we're going to take the seal and we're going to use it to mark our kayak. All right, so our kayak already has a center point here. It's almost like the thing was meant for one. So I'm going to take this, and we want to mark the inside diameter of this hatch, because that's where our hatch is going to fall into. This is where your screws are going to go. So if you want, you can tape this down, but honestly, I'm just going to take my time and mark around it. I know it's not majorly important of exactly where I want it, so now I can stand back and look at it and make sure it's close. And it is. That'll work. Now for me, since I'm going to be using a saw, I'm going to put a drill, and I'm going to put it just inside of this circle and punch a hole in it. And all I want is I want a hole that I can put my skill saw and start to cut my hole. It makes it easier for me. I found that it works. And with my little electric skill saw, that's just an easier way to do it. Now you can use a hand saw or whatever you have, but I'm going to use this electric saw. So here we go. All right, so now one thing I will say is that when you're done with this, keep this piece, because there's all kinds of little projects you can do with this. It'll come in really handy, especially if you ever have to patch your kayak. Keep this piece around. It'll come in really handy. Now, mine wasn't quite big enough for my hatch hole, for the hatch to fit in, the bigger part. So I'm going to have to make it a little wider, and I'm going to widen that with my saw. All right, so after some minor manipulation, we have it ready to go back in. We're going to take our seal. We're going to put our seal in. Now I want to make sure that the hatch, this is a pivot hatch. This one opens this way. So I'm going to make sure that that's facing forward when I push this in here, because that's where I want it to be. There we go. Just like that. A little more over this way. Right there. Now, being I have that foam gasket, I'm going to take this 1/16 inch drill bit, and I'm going to punch through this just so I have an easier pilot. Very cool. Nice. Now, the one thing I did think was really cool about this, let me see if I can show you. Can you see the layers? black, the green, the brown. All right, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the supplied hardware, all these screws, and I'm going to put one in all the way around. That's kind of odd. Not unnecessary. Now I like to use a screwdriver. Now this is a ratcheting screwdriver, so it does make it a little easier. But what it does is it allows you to really feel that tension when you're tightening it up, which is what you want. You want to make sure that you don't over tighten it and strip out that plastic. And then we put our hatch back in there. Nice, tight fit. Very cool. So just like that, our hatch is installed. I'm gonna get my vacuum out here and clean all this up. But guys, it turned out great. I love the fact that unlike the other ones that are just twist, you know, kind of screw in, this one is a lock, twist lock. Very cool. This thing was like 12 bucks on Amazon. I'll put a link down below and allow you, if you want to pick one up, or if you're looking at doing the same project. I saw another one that was a 9-inch that would probably be the perfect size for this. You know, as you see, mine's not quite perfectly centered, but it's good enough for me. I think it's awesome. I'm excited, and I love having another storage box on this kayak, especially one at the rear. That's awesome. All right, guys, well, that's going to do it. As you see, this thing turned out great. I installed this. All in all, it took a couple of different tools, but yeah, you can use any kind of saw, any type that'll cut plastic. Use it, use a Sawzall, use a handsaw, use a skill saw, use whatever you've got. But I honestly had the last part, the battery died, and I had to use the wood saw that's on my Swiss Army knife to finish that. Yeah, I didn't want to say that, but I'm going to tell you up front. So if you wanted to drill the hole, you could do it with a wood saw on your Swiss Army knife if you really wanted to. A little more work, a little arm exercise if you needed it. But guys, this is awesome. This is a Pelican Catch 120, and it's been a great kayak. Just doesn't have a lot of storage. It has the one big hatch in the front and nothing in the rear. So I plan on installing another one under the seat, but that's mostly just so I have access to wiring, so I can run wiring to run my electronics. So, and guys, thank you so much for tuning in today. We couldn't do this without you. We hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it the old thumbs up. We'd love to hear from you guys, and make sure you comment down below. If you have a hack or a mod that you've done to your Pelican Catch 120, tell me about it. Tell me down below. And what do you think would be the next best mod to do to this boat? I'd love to hear from you guys. Make sure you guys go check us out. We're on social media. We're on Facebook and on Instagram. And if you're new to kayak fishing and new to kayaking, we have a whole playlist that I'll put at the very end of this video, and you guys can watch whatever you guys need. There's a lot of different mods for a lot of different kayaks, and there's more to come. So guys, have a great week. Make sure you take time this week to get outside, enjoy yourself, enjoy nature, be prepared, and stay safe. God bless, guys. We'll see you soon.